I think he's actually pretty musically talented. I got nothing, dude. I got nothing. Okay, here we go. Royal Tenenbaums. This is one of my favorite movies from, before I was red-pilled. This movie has some serious symbolism going on. So this guy, I don't know how you can see the cover. This is Tenenbaum, white male, white privileged male. This is his big aristocratic family, and he's separated. He left them. So she starts getting with this black guy. She's getting with the butler or whatever, I think it was her attorney or something. I feel like this movie is a symbol for progression. It's like this guy is clinging to the past. He wants to be the patriarch of his family. He's clinging to the past. It's like, look, man, Royal, you just got to get with the times. It's time for your ex-wife to get with the black man. It's time for an incest relationship to happen between your kids. So, I don't know, dude. I still like this movie. I like all the actors in this movie. Wes Anderson is a Jew, and this movie is basically trying to push progressivist values. The white patriarch is stuck in the past. There's a montage of his daughter being a slut with a bunch of black men. That's pretty much it. It's subversive. Batman Forever. This movie is fucking so red-pilled, dude. Holy shit. Alright, let me try to say something about this movie. I like Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's funny. I really like the revenge plot with Robin. The talk they have about revenge. It's like, first you want to kill the people who took your parents. And then when you take them, the pain only grows. And it only grows with them. And then you see the faces of your killers and another villain. And another. And another. And another. That's so fucking true, man. And it reminds me of kind of how my life is gone. And then at the end, hopefully I'm not just like spoiling all these movies for you. These are all old movies. I figured you've probably seen most of them. Spoiler alert, at the end, when they kill Two-Face, Batman ends up being the one who kills Two-Face. And the look on Robin's face just kind of says everything. You can see in Robin's face, he's like trying to just let it sink in. It's like, that's the guy who killed my family. This needs to be enough. It ends with him. I remember what Batman told me. Batman red-pilled me about revenge. So yeah, just that look on Robin's face while fucking Tommy Lee Jones, Two-Face, is sinking into the acid. It's a good-ass movie, dude. It makes me want to fucking rise of the Fourth Reich. Okay, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You'll see in some of my old videos, I use the music from this. Ba-na, ba-na-na-na-na. Oh, that was completely out of key. Anyway, this movie's just badass, dude. And I'll do a double whammy, because this movie is basically a parody of Excalibur, which is the fucking... This movie is basically, like, everything you need to know about life. It's like, Merlin says it straight like it is. Merlin's like, look, the time of the many gods has passed. Now is the time of the one god and kings. Because at the end of the day, the king... the fashy fucking leader who is chosen by God, by the sword, that's what it is. Like, they're trying to symbolize the ultimate rule. The way that it should work is that someone who is selected by God rules everyone, and, the word of God is handed down through the sword of the king. Julius Evola kind of goes over it in Men Against the Modern World, or Revolt Against the Modern World. He kind of goes over the symbolism of the throne. He says, like, the throne is kind of like this beacon of, like, the traditional godly energy, and it goes through the king, and the king, I don't know, it's kind of like a bunch of occultic, idealist dog shit, to be honest with you, but it's just, it's the way things should be. In a perfect world, our kings would be chosen by God, and the kings would enforce the way of God on all the people. That's how life should be. And Merlin straight up tells him the time of the many gods is over. This is the time of the one God in men. That's pretty much all that needs to be said about this, other than you should just fucking watch it. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, even though it's a parody, it's still just badass, dude. They're fucking kings riding around. The part that's really funny that stands out to me is when the peasants start talking to him about anarcho-syndicalism. They're like, we're part of an anarcho-syndicalist commune where we take turns being the leader. And it's actually plays out like propaganda, because what they want the audience to do is not really get it. They're like, oh, ho, ho, this peasant like knows so much about politics. Like, he's so smart, and the dummy king doesn't know what he's talking about. It's like, oh yeah, he's so smart because he's an anarcho-syndicalist. Like, I don't know. These guys are a bunch of fucking commies. The whole Monty Python gang, they're a bunch of fucking fruity commies, but it's funny. I like the humor in this movie. You know what the scene that I think is the funniest? It's the most random. There's one scene where they're like talking to the little goblin guy, trying to ask about how to get the Grail, and I don't know, the guy just keeps laughing. I can't even explain it, dude. It was the bridge guy. He's just like laughing in their face and not answering anything, and then he disappears. That's when they meet the Knights Who Say Knee. It's funny. Random fact, I watched this movie the first time I did shrooms. I had already seen it before, but it was fucking crazy on shrooms. The Knights Who Say Knee were terrifying. So, maybe not the deepest movie in the world, but it's actually pretty fashy. Any movie that has anything to do with Excalibur, even if it's making fun of it, it's fashy. Ghostbusters 1 and 2, I like the sequel better. I like the sequel better, man. And people say that the sequel is pretty much just the first movie over again. I think it's like a better version of the first movie. It's kind of fucking scary. Vigo is creepy. They got the creepy tunnel scene with the monster masks and shit. I just think it's a great movie, man. And there's definitely some occult stuff going on. They're talking about divination, you know? He's it's been so long. Invocation. That's something I haven't thought about in a long time. I used to do invocations when I was a fucking LARPy occultist. Yeah, there's invocation in that movie. One of the guys runs an occult store. See, Jay Dyer goes all over how Ghostbusters is. There's an entire metaphysic behind this movie. Like, basically, the Ghostbusters believe in, like, borderline Neoplatonic occult metaphysics, and they're proving them true. They're like, oh, see, we're catching the ghosts because we're right. You know, Egon owns an occult bookstore, and he believes in an occult, like Helena Blavatsky type philosophy. And basically, because they catch the ghosts, they're proving it right. So they kind of have this smug thing. It's like, yeah, we're the Ghostbusters. You know, we're occultists. We have a Blavatskyan occult worldview, and everybody's so dumb, like they don't understand that Helena Blavatsky is the truth of the world. So this is trying to push some fruity occulty bullshit. It's really deep and subversive and hard to catch, but it's there. I'm a Deftones fan. We don't need to say anything about that. Oh my god, The Matrix. I wonder if anybody's ever like tried to give an analysis of The Matrix. My fucking Philosophy 101 teacher told my entire class of literally hundreds and hundreds of students that this movie is about religion. That, like, religion is the Matrix, and when you become an atheist, you escape the Matrix. That is the most blue-pilled, fucking retarded, shallow, made-up bullshit I've ever heard in my entire fucking life, dude. He's a fucking moron. I don't know why they made the Matrix, but basically, this is just about becoming red-pilled, bro. This is like the blueprint for the red pill. I mean, this is where it comes from. I'm sorry, I'm yelling. It's just blue pill, red pill. This is where it comes from, dude. So you can either take the blue pill and, you know, vote for Bernie Sanders and it's her turn and marry your feminist wife, or you can be a real man and take the red pill and see what the real fucking world looks like. I mean, you guys, this has been, everybody knows. You get it. Naked. You've never heard of this movie. It's from 1993. It's extremely black-pilled, and I really like it. Now, this guy goes over some theology in the movie. He gives his view on God and stuff. Spoiler alert, it's not, I don't agree with what he has to say about God. But the fact that he believes in God, and he's a philosopher, and he believes that God is sovereign and angry, it's close enough, okay? He ends up saying that shit, how we're all of our souls are a little piece of God, and eventually we'll all go back together. It's the Neoplatonist shit. He has the false metaphysics going, but at least he talks metaphysics. At least he knows the world is fucked up. So this movie's interesting, man. There's some really rough sex scenes in here. It's a very grotesque movie. It probably could have an NC-17 rating. It's weird, dude. This guy is super fucking black-pilled. I would recommend this to anybody looking for a comfy black-pilled movie. Suburbia. So what I like about this movie, even though I watched it again recently and I saw propaganda that I didn't see before, is that the SJW, this girl with her spiky hair, she's an SJW feminist. And then that guy is a neo-Nazi, he's a white nationalist. He talks about, I mean, it doesn't really go into white nationalism, but he talks about, like, conservative ideals. So the far left chick and the fashy far right conservative guy, they're in the same group of friends. How's that for a fucking 90s movie? They're in the same group of friends, dude, and they get into a discussion and then they just laugh it off. Like, it was a time when people still had the political views they have today, but somehow they're able to get along with each other. And as far as the propaganda, from the director of Dazed and Confused, yeah, no shit, there's propaganda in it. It's just like, fuck, it was really complicated. It was all coming together for me last time I was watching it. Like, basically what it amounted to... Oh, here's what it amounted to. This guy couldn't get it up. They end up making some joke like, huh, all conservative men deep down just, like, can't get a hard-on, and that's why they're conservatives. That's basically the subversion of this, is they build up this story about the conservative guy, and then he can't get a hard-on, so it's like, all conservatives have small dicks. Like, that's pretty much what it comes down to. Sling Blade, directed and written by Billy Bob Thornton, who's a genius. You probably didn't know that. Now you do. This is the best fucking movie in the world, dude. If there's any subversive shit in here, which there's not, it's that, ooh, South, rednecks in the South. But nah, Billy Bob Thornton's from the South. He's fucking high IQ as fuck. I mean, I'm pretty sure he is. It just looks like it to me. Like, this is talking about, like, a beautiful, misunderstood soul. Normies usually don't get this movie. What? He killed his mom. I don't get... What? He's retarded. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't... How is he a good guy? I don't get it. Like, it's... This movie's deep as fuck, man. I've probably seen it 15 times. It's just a good movie, man. It's like... This guy kind of sacrifices himself to help this kid and a single mom live a better life. It's just like this guy reads the Bible, he's retarded, and the whole movie is people kind of like, whoa, the guy makes weird noises and he doesn't get things. But he ends up being deeper than everyone because all he's read is the Bible and a book on Christmas. And he just slowly reveals his beautiful way of being. And fucking, I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but it's really good, man. And I do a pretty good Sling Blade impression. I want some of them French fried potatoes, I reckon. Well, I figured it'd be best to just give it on back to the good Lord. Okay. We're almost there, guys. Maybe this isn't even 20 minutes. I really tried to not take too long. Reality Bites. Good shit. This is like... this is like Gen X. This is a Gen X movie. Like, oh, the economy's ruined. Like, is there even a future for us? They had no fucking idea how bad things were going to be. If only you knew 1995 fucking Ben Stiller. This guy's a weird little Jewish demon, by the way, if you didn't know. Dude, I'm sorry. I think Ben Stiller's funny. Every movie he's in, just... Somebody's, like, sucking Satan's cock on every set that he was on. I don't know. That's all I can say about that. But no, you know, this movie's just kind of, like, comfy... It's comfy to watch this movie because you can relate to them. Like, she has a good job and she's giving shit to her roommates who don't have good jobs. And then all of a sudden she's out of a job and then the shoe's on the other foot. She's sitting on the couch all day and everyone's like, hey, why don't you get a fucking job, you fucking bum? And she starts to see, wow, like, I can't find a job in my field. So it's just kind of a relatable little movie. I wouldn't say there's anything too significant propaganda-wise. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Jim Carrey, he gets on stage with Cannibal Corpse. It's fucking hilarious. Jim Carrey listens to death metal. Jim Carrey's goofy. He's actually a cuck, but it didn't really come out in movies like this back then. So, and finally, last but not least, I'll just glance over this one real quick. 4-movie laugh pack with Steve Martin. The Jerk, a classic. I gotta say, Steve Martin, he's kind of like an early Adam Sandler. I watched Parenthood last night. There's some propaganda in here, and this is what I was gonna say is the guy who's trying to raise his daughter to be a genius, he randomly talks about Eastern philosophy. He says, oh, we're getting her versed in Eastern philosophy. Oh, because she's so smart, right? Because all geniuses study Eastern philosophy, right? Because Christians are fucking idiots, right? That's a lot of assumptions, but I am starting to see that in movies. Anytime anybody in a movie is spiritual, never Christianity. It's always Eastern shit. Jinro, the Wolf Brigade. Fuck, man. The first time I finished this movie, it just took like 10 minutes to set in. And I just fucking started crying, like when the credits came. I was like, okay, I don't get it. What's the big deal? Oh, wait. It's such a good movie, man. And it's red-pilled. You'll see this movie talked about in Poll all the time. It's an alternate timeline where the Nazis won, except way better than Man in the High Castle. And it's just kind of this reality. This soldier, basically a Nazi soldier, and a terrorist faction chick have a romance, and it's just kind of this back and forth between them and their relationship, kind of going over some of the complexities of the situation. You know, it's like who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, and there's this beautiful Little Red Riding Hood symbolism throughout the movie, and it's like, well, which one is the victim and which one's the aggressor, and it all becomes clear by the end of the movie, and that's it, man. That's my whole DVD collection. So I constantly use movies as like a ground, as something you can relate to. It's like, okay, I'm trying to explain to you this complicated subject. Let's bring Ghostbusters into it. You don't know all there is to know about Neoplatonic philosophy or Helena Blavatsky metaphysics or whatever, but you've seen Ghostbusters. Well, these people working at a cult bookstore, they lead you to believe that they're learning everything they know about books from these books they have. Therefore, the fact that they're catching these ghosts kind of implies that they know the reality of the world. Therefore, in this movie, supposedly the reality of the world is what they're learning from their books. They're reading occult books. This movie's occult subversive dog shit, and I should just fucking burn it. No, I'm just kidding. I like it. Okay, guys, that's all I got for now. Hopefully this video isn't too long. I will see you later. Reform Stoic.